Okay, so let's jump right in. We're looking at a permit today. This one's from June 6th, 2025. And we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into what it actually says. It kicks off pretty strong, demanding the removal of Nigeria's Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun.
It really does. No beating around the bush. It flags his tenure extension straight away as lacking constitutional basis, and crucially frames it as, well, a serious threat to the country's democracy.
Yeah, and what's interesting, I think, is how it connects this. It's not just about him, is it? The statement calls the extension part of a broader scheme. How exactly does it link that decision to something bigger?
It's very explicit about that. It claims this scheme is aimed squarely at compromising the 2027 elections. It even draws this parallel, to historical patterns, calling it a script used before by past regimes, basically manipulating state institutions for political gain. So the argument isn't just about keeping someone in a job longer. It's presented as a specific tactic with an electoral goal in mind.
Got it. So our task here really is to unpack the core arguments, like why challenge the extension so strongly, and how does the statement actually describe the police force under his leadership, and what are they actually demanding?
Okay, let's start with the challenge itself. The statement puts forward the idea that the extension is illegitimate constitutionally and morally as something widely understood by Nigerians. It presents this almost as a settled fact, not some fringe view.
And the stakes, according to this document, sound incredibly high. It links what it calls this unlawful extension straight to rigging the election outcome. It even says this could come at the cost of national stability. That's a pretty direct link they're making there.
It absolutely is. And, the statement doesn't just stop at the Inspector General. He uses some strong language about the institution itself. It alleges the Nigerian police force under him has continued to be weaponized against peaceful citizens, youth voices, and civic movements.
Wow, weaponized. So the argument isn't just about inefficiency or maybe corruption, but that the police are actively being used as a tool, like a political instrument against certain groups.
That's the clear message, yes. And the tenure extension in this context isn't just, keeping things as they are. It's painted as a sign of an even darker intent, specifically tied to messing with the next election.
Okay. And this builds up, right, towards some very direct demands. I think I saw the word enough in capitals. It says pretty unequivocally, we demand the immediate removal of Kayode Egbetokun.
And a full investigation, into the political motives behind his illegal retention.
The statement really hammers home how crucial the 2027 election is. It says it must not be stolen before it arrives. And things like electoral integrity, institutional accountability, and public trust are non-negotiable. It's like drawing a line in the sand. Okay, so let's try and pull this together then. This June 6th statement is basically saying, 1, the IG's tenure extension is unlawful. 2, this is directly linked to a plan to compromise the 2027 elections. 3, the police force is being weaponized politically. And 4, they're demanding his immediate removal and an investigation into these alleged motives.
Exactly. And the language, as we've said, is very confrontational. It frames this whole thing as a fight against impunity. A defense of democracy. It uses powerful phrases like no electoral reform, no election. And it makes this urgent appeal to civil society, the international community, and every patriotic Nigerian to stand firm and basically chose resistance.
It even ends with a pretty stark warning, doesn't it? Aimed at what it calls enemies of justice, saying their days are numbered. So yeah, this isn't just a complaint letter. It's definitely a call to action built on these very specific claims.
And what's also quite striking is the statement's claim about the public mood. It asserts that Nigerians are now awake, apparently, and actively organizing to counter these threats it perceives. It presents it as a kind of tipping point.
So when you read a statement like this with these really forceful claims about an institution's leadership, the alleged political motives, the weaponization idea, and these direct calls for resistance, what does that make you think about? That relationship between how institutions are run, leadership changes, extensions, and keeping elections fair in a democracy. What particular claim or connection in this whole statement really jumps out at you?